everybody, as the year comes to a close, so does many of the musicals that we've seen on the newest season in Broadway. And you know what that means? That means exciting news for all of us that couldn't go to Broadway this season, and we have to wait for national tours to arrive in our town. And I have a lot of news to talk about because at the moment of this recording, it was announced that Boop the Musical, it's gonna have a national tour. And I actually want to read a little bit about the article that was released to give you a little bit of insight of what was said. It says, great news for those outside of New York. North America will soon be able to see Boop the Musical, which played a brief Broadway run last season. Will embark on a 50-week national tour beginning at Rochester, New York's West Hare Auditorium Theater in fall 2026. Additional cities, dates, and casting by the TRC company are all to be announced. The tour will resurrect the Broadway production, directed and choreographed by Jerry Mitchell, featuring a book by Bob Martin, music by David Foster, and lyrics by Susan Burkhead. This is actually pretty exciting because this is one of the musicals from the newest season that I wanted to see, and I know that it was overlooked at the Tonys, receiving a bunch of nominations but winning none at the end of the day. But still, it looks pretty fun. The music is really catchy. So this was one of the musicals that I wanted to see. Hopefully they come to San Diego, but if not, Los Angeles wouldn't be a bad option either. And of course, once I heard the news, I was like, why not make a video about this? But not only talking about Boop the Musical, but actually talk about all the musicals are gonna be on tour this upcoming year. There's a bunch of jewels that I want to talk about. Because I want to start with one of the most nominated musicals this season. Is also going on tour in fall 2026, and this is Buena Vista Social Club. As well, I'm gonna read a little bit about the announcement, and it says, Broadway's Buena Vista Social Club, one of the most Tony nominated productions of this season. Let's remind you, all of you, that this got 10 nominations, same as with Maybe Happy Ending and Death Becomes Her, that I'm gonna talk about them just in a little bit. We'll launch a North American tour from Buffalo, New York in September 2026. The schedule includes stops in Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, and more, all to be announced. So this is pretty great. As I mentioned, I usually go to San Diego and Los Angeles. Los Angeles is right there, so this is gonna be incredible. Of course, this musical has a lot of things going into it. If you have this musical in town, don't hesitate in grabbing tickets. It's gonna be so good. The music, the Latino music, it's really great in this musical. And of course, the story, it's really heartfelt, so you don't want to miss this one out either. Alongside Buena Vista Social Club, Maybe Happy Ending also was one of the most nominated, and also they announced in May that they're gonna have a national tour fall of 2026. And this is what they said. They said Broadway's Maybe Happy Ending will hit the road in fall 2026, launching from Baltimore's. The multi-year tour already has more than 30 cities on its schedule, including Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Tampa, St. Louis, Detroit, San Francisco, and Providence. So more than 30 cities. So it is really likely that you're gonna have Maybe Happy Ending in town. Of course, this was one of the most talked musicals about this season with Daryl Kress and the whole cast. It was a very star-studded, but even if you're not gonna see them on tour, that doesn't mean that the musicals are not worth it. Of course, you have to see beyond the actors, you have to see the story, the music, and this is one of them that's gonna be stuck in your head for a while. So also, I'm pretty excited about this one. Hopefully this one can come to San Diego so it can be closer. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one as well. And to end the trio, earlier in April, Death Becomes Her also announced that they're gonna go in tour in 2026. This is what it was said. Broadway Death Becomes Her is hitting the road. The show, currently running at the L'Enfantin Theater, will launch a North American tour in fall 2026 from Cleveland's Playhouse Square, with stops in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, St. Louis, and so of course this is gonna be a musical that also it's pretty fun. So if this goes to your city, this is one of the 3 main ones that you would likely like to see. And now pivoting a little bit from Broadway, recently I went to see Hadestown in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Pantages Theater, And when I looked at the back of the playbill, I got a bit of a surprise because one of the musicals that I've been wanting to see this season, it is a musical called Mexodus, made by Nigel and Brian Quijada. Now, this is a story of the underground train that went into Mexico in the age of, I'm gonna put the word here, I don't know if I can say it. And right now they were having an off-Broadway that recently closed. And when I looked at the back of the playbill, I saw that this musical is gonna be in Pasadena. So of course this is gonna be another of the musicals that I would love to see. It is not that far, it's a little bit further than Los Angeles, but still, I wanna see if I can maybe accommodate stuff so I can go to see Mexodus as well. This is a live looping musical, so it's pretty great. It is something different, and of course it's kind of like a on my video I mentioned this is more like a Harriet combined with Hamilton, so it is kind of a weird combination, but it sounds so good. Actually, I had a friend that went to New York and told me about this musical, and she told me that this was amazing. So of course, since this musical is coming not too far from here, I want to see if I can go. And now going back to Broadway, one of the most overlooked shows this season was Operation Mincemeat, and this has an actually surprising news because most of the musicals, as I mentioned before, they are just North American tours, meaning US. Sometimes they go to Canada, but mainly in the US. So all the cities that they're gonna go, it's if you live in the US, you're gonna be able to see them. But Operation Mincemeat, it's not only gonna do a North American tour, it's actually gonna be a world tour. So I wanna read a little bit about the announcement. So it says, Operation Mincemeat is planning a global tour starting in 2026, visiting the US, UK, Australia, Canada, China, Mexico, and New Zealand. The tour will begin February 16, 2026 at Manchester's The Lowry, followed by a 40-week UK tour before expanding internationally. So this news is actually pretty amazing because not many musicals go international, especially in Mexico. So there's actually a very few states that has musicals, so it's usually Monterrey, Ciudad de Mexico, Guadalajara sometimes, and it is pretty great knowing that a brand new musical that was recently on the newest season in Broadway, it's gonna be in Mexico. Of course, if you have the opportunity to see this musical, it is a somewhat funny musical. Of course, it's definitely shaping up to be an amazing 2026 with all these musicals hitting the road and more on the way. I'm so excited to see these productions that I missed throughout the New York season, but let me know in the comments, which musical are you most excited about? And did I miss one of the musicals that you want to see? Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I'm actually more active. I want to start to create more videos like this one, so of course follow me here as well if you would like to have updates about it, but I'm mainly most active on Instagram. Yeah, that will be all on my end. My name is Joel and I'll see you behind the anchor.